Hey, everybody. How's it going? Happy Thursday. Welcome. I am so excited because today is the first time I am testing out. You guys are probably used to hearing me say, I'm testing something out, but I really am. I'm always testing something out. And today I'm testing out this new software that I've been using. And today's the first day that we're testing simultaneously broadcasting to not one, not two, but trace places. So we'll see if this works out. But anyway, welcome. Today I am talking about how to go keto or dip your toe in the water going keto if you've been thinking about going keto. And I'm going to share with you how you can do that without going full-fledged keto. But first, I'm going to share with you, for those of you who might be tuning in and going, who is this person that's talking? What's her deal with keto? My name is Kelly Alexa, and I actually had a remarkable transformation with the keto diet. I hate saying the keto diet because that automatically gets people thinking that the keto diet, which it is a diet, and some people can go on the keto diet and then go off. But I choose to look at it, and for me, it certainly has become a lifestyle. But I just want you guys to think, if you're watching this, think of the keto diet as, for me, I'm talking about more of a lifestyle choice, more of a way of eating. And for me, going on the keto diet, changing my way of eating to the keto way of eating last year produced an overwhelming transformation in my body and my life, really, because it wasn't just a physical transformation. It wasn't just that I lost 35 inches and 28 pounds. In fact, I really should weigh myself again because I think I've lost more weight since the last time I weighed myself. But it wasn't just that, it wasn't just the physical transformation. And this was after literally 8 years of really being stuck, not being able to lose weight. I'm 52 years old. I've had hormonal imbalance. I have struggled. I've been this fitness fanatic person, crazy about health and wellness, and yet working out 6 days a week, being in a caloric deficit, eating all the healthiest food, shopping at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, all of this, dieting, obsessing over what I'm eating, working out all the time religiously, working out with a trainer. And I was always 20 to 25 pounds overweight. I just couldn't lose weight. And yet finally last year, I went keto with the assistance of my functional medicine doctor, June 1st. And over the period of June 1st, really, I think by December, I lost the weight. But I slowly and steadily lost about a pound to a pound and a half or a pound and a quarter every week. It was just slow and steady and consistent. It was the easiest thing I ever did. And I will tell all of you who are watching this, I was the single most skeptical person about the keto diet on the planet. When my doctor told me that this was the diet she was putting me on, and she really didn't say go keto. She just gave me my macros. And she said, I want you to do 1,600 calories, 50 grams of carbs or less, 60 to 70 grams of protein, and the rest healthy fats. And I'm like, is this keto? And I pushed back. I didn't want to do it because I thought keto was a joke. I really did. But it ended up being the best thing for me. Utterly transformed my body. I have never felt better. So again, to what I said a few minutes ago, it's not only the physical transformation, which of course, if you're watching this, we all want to lose weight. We all want to feel better. We all want to wear clothes that we've not worn before. And as an aside, I will tell you this. For the better part of the last 8 years, I have been unable to wear probably 75% of the clothes in my closet. And I know most of you ladies can relate to that. I have had piles of jeans in my closet that I couldn't touch, that I couldn't, how many of you ladies have jeans that you go to put on and you just, maybe you don't even try them on anymore because you know that I can't even pull those up over my thighs. And now I can not only wear all of them, a lot of them I had to give away because they're too big for me now. Most of my clothes I now have to take to the seamstress and get taken in. Best feeling ever. So again, to first part of this video, I want to tell you who I am, why I'm talking to you about keto. That's been my experience. Just last year, end of last year, I had this overwhelming transformation. At age 52, after struggling and not being able to lose weight no matter what I tried, I went keto, and with the right supplements and just changing my diet, I was able to lose almost, I want to say almost effortlessly, 28 pounds, 35 inches. Crazy, right? Now, I'm obviously very passionate about this, and I now coach women, and I help women go keto. A lot of my friends started reaching out to me and going, "How, I don't get it. How are you going keto? I've done keto and I gained weight on keto." Or they'd say, I tried keto and, I lost weight, but then I gained it all back." And so this is how I started helping women, and I started hearing what they were doing, cuz I didn't necessarily start doing it all right. I just figured stuff out. I don't want to call myself an expert, but I definitely figured certain things out. And what I want to tell you in this video is, first, I want to lay the groundwork, and I want a lot of you to know something that probably a lot of people don't think about when they're considering keto. And that is this: what keto does really magically is address insulin resistance. And what so many people don't realize, and this is where I tend to work really well with women. I'm 52, and my hormones started getting really crazy and out of control, like so many women, right around age 40. Now, a lot of women around that age are going into perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, whatever. All of those issues, hormones, perimenopause, blah, 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 almost go hand in hand with insulin resistance. But some of you who are watching this may already know that you have some insulin issues. If you've had blood work done and you know that you have insulin resistance or insulin issues, like, keto is your best friend, okay? If once the first thing that I started to realize, and I'm going to go over this when I close up this video, the first thing I started to realize as I was tracking my macros the first couple of weeks of doing keto is I would look at certain foods and go, "Oh, can't have that. It has so many carbs in it. Oh, I can't have that." And then I started to realize, like, wow, everything I was eating before, even though it was healthy and organic and, grass fed and all of that, was just creating an insulin response. I was like a walking insulin response. And as I progressed in eating keto, I realized, like, wow, I'm eating foods that are not creating an insulin response. And I think it was just my body just went, "Oh, thank God." Like, I'm being extreme here and about what I'm about to say. My body was probably like, "Thank God she's not a walking sugar lollipop anymore." You know? I mean, I'm just going to give you an example of a lot of the foods that, because I took notes here. I used to have a lot of plantain chips every day. I started every single day of my, I started every morning with a protein smoothie bowl, an acai protein smoothie bowl. Now, some of you listening might go, "How is that bad for you?" Full of fruit. I added a banana. I added a lot of berries. Now, please listen. I am not saying that these foods are bad. I'm not saying they're bad for everybody. If you have an insulin problem and you're having bananas and a lot of fruit every day, that's a problem. It is what it is. Plus, I was adding honey to that, as a little sweetener, organic honey with bee pollen in it. I was, like, "Oh, that's so good for you. I read about it in this magazine. This celebrity's eating it. Gwyneth Paltrow said it's good for you." I was having a lot of bananas, a lot of frozen fruit in those. I mean, so just my breakfast alone was like an insulin nightmare. a lot of when I would go out and have alcoholic drinks, it was always like blueberry cucumber martini, sweet drinks with a lot of carbs in it. Alcohol can be just alcohol alone can have a lot of sugar in it. And then if you go with those like blueberry cucumber martini, pomegranate martini, stuff like that, then you're jacking up your insulin even more. And who doesn't like Mexican food? Well, the alcohol and Mexican drinks alone, there's something else. Tortillas, okay, chips, plantain chips. I was having a lot of those. Smoothies, protein shakes. I mean, I could go on and on and on. But now I'm going to give you some tips, because this is where I can give you some really simple ways if you want to dip your toe in the keto waters. And I'm going to tell you why this might prove to be like really beneficial for you. Because here's the deal. I just told you about my keto experience last year, right? But if you go, and I will link this up below in the comments after I finish this broadcast, but the first time that I was diagnosed with insulin resistance was actually about 5 or 6 years ago. And it was when I first got my blood work done with my first doctor, Dr. Marvin Riska out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I was first diagnosed with insulin resistance. And he really didn't tell me to change my diet. Oddly enough, it was Valerie Waters, who's a dear friend of mine. She's a celebrity fitness trainer, and she was visiting me in Chicago like a year, maybe 6 months down the road. And I remember she was visiting, and I was talking about having insulin resistance or something. And I was making breakfast. She was staying at my house, and I was making breakfast, and I was making organic eggs, organic whole grass-fed eggs with Ezekiel toast. And she's like, if you have insulin resistance, why are you making Ezekiel toast? And I'm like, well, it's, gluten-free and blah, blah, blah. She's like, it's not gluten-free. This is, and she was explaining to me that this Ezekiel toast that I was having, which I thought was, gluten-free, was not. And I'm like, wait, what? And then she just said, have you really thought about what insulin resistance is and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I'm so glad she said something to me, because after that, I went and did research, and I did a blog post about this on my blog back then. And I actually rewrote that blog and updated it. And it's on my blog, kellyalexa.com. I just updated it recently. So again, I'll put that blog post here. If you're impatient, you can just go to kellyalexa.com, go in the search bar, hit insulin resistance. But here's the deal, you guys. Back then, this was about 5 or 6 years ago. I did the research, and the research said, if you have insulin resistance, cut out, certain foods, cut out potatoes, cut out rice, cut out corn, cut out, and of course, cut out bread. So I cut out those things, and I lost 10 pounds in a month. I think it was 9 pounds. I'm rounding up. So I had a really good experience. And then for some reason, slowly but surely over time, I reintroduced all of those things. I don't know why I didn't take the insulin resistance very seriously. I don't think pretty sure my blood work over time did not show that insulin resistance was presenting itself again until recently, and with my new doctor. And she has made it a top priority. She has said that, and obviously she's right. She has said, the reason you are not losing weight and haven't been losing weight is not your thyroid. It is your insulin. This is the number one thing we need to focus on. And if we get your insulin under control, this is going to be the way that we get the weight off and keep the weight off. I'm walking, living, breathing proof that this is true. Is life fun when you can eat all the bread you want? I mean, come on, who doesn't want to have bread and cake and all that stuff? But the truth is, you guys, let me just say this in closing. So before I close up, my suggestion to all of you who tuned into this, if I were to tell you to take baby steps and test out my theory, if you want to test out and take some keto baby steps, take one of these or two of these and cut them out for a month and see what happens. If you consume a lot of corn, think about corn, rice, potatoes, or bread. How much of that do you consume on a regular basis? You probably consume more than you think. For me, I actually years later found out that I took a food reactivity test and I found out that I was highly reactive to corn. Corn was causing my skin to break out in these horrible bumps. That's a whole other story. I'm not saying everybody is. Corn can cause a lot of people to have a lot of issues. So corn is obviously something that high fructose corn syrup. I mean, there's a reason that they make high fructose corn syrup. They make a syrup, a sweetener out of corn. Think about that. So when you're having corn tortillas, corn chips, things that have high fructose corn syrup in them, and high fructose corn syrup is in a lot of products. If you're having corn and a lot of corn products, that's something to think about. I want you to think about that blog post. Think about what I shared with you, that when I cut out those products, and I'll share with you that back then, what I realized to be true is that I was having a lot of sweet potatoes. I was making a lot of sweet potatoes. I was making I think it was more so I was having potatoes every day. I was having I was doing the bro diet back then. I was into figure competitors and bodybuilding. So I was doing a lot of sweet potato at dinner, sweet potato at lunch, just a lot of sweet. You kind of live on potatoes because that's the only thing you can have that tastes good and tastes sweet. So you do a lot of it. So I was having a lot of sweet potatoes. I was doing a lot of sushi with a lot of rice. And I was having that on a regular basis. I don't know that I was eating a lot of corn as a vegetable. I just think I was probably consuming maybe corn chips and corn tortillas. And I definitely was having a lot of that Ezekiel bread. So cutting those things out, to think that I lost 9 pounds in a month by cutting those foods shows you the effect that has on your blood sugar. So I encourage you to take what I'm saying here and think about it. Test it out. Maybe I'm not saying you have to cut all of it out. If you want to go nutty, cut it all out. But what do you have to lose but weight? That's a way of people overcomplicate. Everybody goes, oh my God, I could never go keto. I couldn't give up bread. Okay, don't give up bread. But if you consume rice on a regular basis and potatoes, say, I'm just not going to have potatoes for a month. I'm going to cut out potatoes and rice. See, test it out. People just so over romanticize bread. Let me tell you something. I love bread. I have had since June 1st of last year, one bite of a gluten-free roll at Christmas dinner, and that's it. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'd rather be 28 pounds less and 35 pounds less around my middle and be able to stand up. Do you think, let me just tell you something. Do you think that I'd be able to do what I'm doing right now? Let me just tell you something. If you think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, I would ever stand up on video and show you any part of my body below this, you're crazy. I'm showing you, I don't even know if you can see. Do you see my thighs? Can you see how thin my thighs have gotten? I used to have saddlebags. I almost have a thigh gap. You can see it. I mean, I would never show you this part of my body before. But I'm sharing this with you, not necessarily to impress you, just a little bit, but to impress upon you that if I can do this at age 52, sorry about the bang. I need to get my bangs trimmed and they're really bothering me. And of course, now that I've touched my bangs, I need to just not touch them when I'm on video to let you know that this is such a life-changing thing, you guys. It's so life-changing. And I would not say this unless it was true. This has been the easiest thing for me to do ever, ever. I'm happy to take any questions. That's all I have to say for today. Take some baby steps, cut out one or all of these things. And then that way it doesn't have to feel like, oh my God, I could never do keto. It's going to be too complicated. I just can't. That's the number one thing people do with keto is they convince themselves they can't do it, so they don't start. Just pick one of these things and cut it out, and then if you go a week and you've cut out corn, cut out rice, or, and then just see, I guarantee you'll be surprised. You won't be bloated. You're going to start to notice that you're not bloated. You probably feel everything. You'll feel better. And then you'll go, wow, I did that. I can do more. Try it. And in the meantime, if you have questions, comment below. Oh, and in closing, I almost forgot the most important thing. So I have a free Keto Quick Start ebook that I have created that basically kind of sums up all the questions that people were asking me. It's got links to my favorite recipes, links to my favorite products, basically kind of a summary of everything that I did to lose the weight in an ebook, and it's free. So if you want it, I want you to comment keto in the comments below, and I will send you the links that you can download it. And that's also going to help you kind of kick the tires, look around. And then if you want to take the next step and get some help, I do offer coaching. You can take it up a notch and hire me as your coach. You can inquire with my assistant about that. But hopefully this was helpful. If you have questions, you can leave those in the comments as well, or you can private message me. Hopefully this was interesting and helpful for you guys. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys next time on The Kelly O Show. Ciao.